Hey there, my name is Josie. Welcome to the Yoga Local podcast. Thank you for joining. And the conversation today is around getting unstuck. Life has this real nature of throwing curveballs at us left, right, and centre. You've probably heard the quote that the only thing that is consistent in life is change. And in coping with change is kind of our superpower, being able to be resilient, being able to ride the waves of life's ups and downs. And after class today, we were just chatting about that, and this idea that there's going to be a point in our life when everything's rosy and everything's all stacked up and there'll be no challenge is kind of a myth. But in those times that we do get served up a challenge or something comes to test us, it can really challenge our sense of self. It can really challenge who we are. It can really set us back, and we can get really stuck in some of those big existential questions like, who am I and why am I here, and what's the point to all of this? And that's a really heavy kind of energy to be in. But hey, the good news is we have a way to overcome these challenges, and we're not all kind of islands here. Pretty much, in our conversation today, we were also saying, we tend to think everyone else has got it all going on, and but everyone's got their struggles. Everyone's got their the things that they're like having to deal with, and it was in fact our ancient sages that helped us to kind of overcome this. They got it. They even 5,000 years ago, which again blows my mind. That you wonder what their struggles were back then, right? But that to be human is to struggle. To be human is to suffer, and that was why yoga was offered to humanity, and it was a tool to end suffering, essentially. It wasn't just a physical workout, but it was an actual roadmap to end suffering and find our true selves. And that really kind of links with our theme this month of self-love, and love being that agent for change, and being able to kind of be compassionate as we're pursuing our growth, and as we're dealing with our things. It's like, unless we can kind of access that love and compassion, then it is so easy to be down on ourselves, to be heavy on ourselves, and to get lost in those descending energies, and from that place we really struggle to move forward. So the yogis gifted us yoga to end our suffering, and I think that's really, really cool. But I think for some of us, when we hear yoga as a tool to end suffering, it can kind of repel us a little bit, because it seems such a lofty goal, right? Much more realistic, I think, is for us in our minds, and you can tell me if I'm wrong, but is, if I practice the physical asana, well, at least my body is going to get a little bit stronger, and I'm going to get a little bit more flexible. And that other stuff, ending suffering, well, that's not for people like me, and it's so not true. And I think we're doing a disservice to ourselves by just hanging around on the edges and the peripheral of the yoga practice, and just kind of, as I've said many times in the past, when we're just working on ourselves like a car, just working on the external frame and kicking the tires and polishing the metalwork, it's going to be a limited experience, because really we need to get under the hood, and we need to go deeper than that. And that's what yoga can offer. If you can find a place, and this is one of those, and I'm proud to be able to say that I've done the hunting for you. I found the practices, I found the teachings that are scientific, that are lineage based, that the sages wanted us to pass on as teachers. And with that goal, with that higher goal of ending suffering. So yeah, I get it. You know, it does sound a lofty goal, but why are we just settling for okay moments? Like, we've been gifted an incredible opportunity. We've been birthed as a human. I mean, just think of all the things we could have kind of ended up as. Won't go there, right? But we have this human technology, and we've been gifted with it, and we're not really tapping into its full potential. And this is what the yoga tradition is offering us. So I just want to invite you to think about that, and like you know, you're done with just okay moments, getting by, you know, just like not truly riding the waves, not really truly learning to kind of surf and have the adventures that will make life so much more fulfilling and creative. For many of us, we're just kind of hanging out in the same old, like just kind of being a little bit maybe fearful of going there, right? And just settling for something that feels safe. But it's such a waste of this human experience if that's what we're doing. So how do we break free from that cycle? How do we break free from just this relentless kind of just dealing with what's coming up, but not actually thriving and moving past some of these obstacles that keep coming our way? So, well, according to the tradition, it's like, this is what it boils down to, guys. So pay attention. It's all about awareness, and it starts with that magic ingredient. So it's not about, you know, the prowess of your posture and your feats of strength in an asana. It's how aware are you? How are you building your resilience to stay in a moment and create some space for it to unfold truly and bring a sense of true vision, true perception to that moment, so that you can change it. And once you are in that capacity to find awareness, then change is inevitable, because you'll start to free yourself up. You'll start to see things in new ways. You'll start to uncover solutions to old problems. You know, we free ourselves up when we become more aware. So that's the magic ingredient for getting unstuck, awareness. And some of us already know we're stuck, but some of us don't even know that we're stuck. You know, we just kind of like, you know, on that treadmill and not really kind of stopping to just see how rigid our lives have become, how monotonous our lives have become, and how we're creating like this safety for ourselves, which actually holds us back. It just keeps us contained in a very mediocre kind of life. And yoga would argue that's not why you were born. That's not why you were put on this planet. You came with you came coded, right? This is what the yogis would say. We have a dharmic purpose. We come coded with it, and our purpose is to uncover that code and really fully embrace life and lean into that dharmic potential. So the awareness piece is so crucial, because it's shining a light. It's shining a light on, you know, where we've got stuck, where we've got limited, where we've got heavy, where we've got a little dull. And the awareness part of practice is making that first step forward into expansion. So yeah, just imagine it's like, just as our cells are renewing every minute, our lives can change in the blink of an eye. And when we get present, we can start to navigate that that constant change. Life is constantly changing. Our bodies are constantly changing. Our experiences are constantly changing. It's ludicrous to think that we can kind of hit pause and go, right now I'm arrived and everything's going to stay the same. And you know, I don't need to worry anymore. Like, you know, there is always going to be that curveball arriving. You know, there's going to be the highs, there's going to be the lows. We know this. So how do we equip ourselves? So you want your life to be stress-free, but life's going to have other plans, right? And we want to make those changes to our habits, right? But we still keep doing the same thing. So we need to get creative. We need to start to expand our awareness, identify these things, and start to tap into what's possible when we create that space and find some freedom to really move the needle where we want it to go, or deal with a situation much more efficiently, so we're not hanging out in those negative energies for months, weeks, years. You know, how quickly and how readily we kind of, you know, ride that wave and move into the next expression of our life is going to really dictate how stuck we're feeling in our life and how fixed and how rigid. So bridging the gap, really important, from where we are to where we want to be, and awareness is that magic ingredient. We're not stuck forever. We don't have to be stuck forever. You know, it may be we have periods of stuckness, but we can find and use the tools of yoga and Ayurveda to maintain that. And that's why practice is a daily practice for me anyway, and it's what I would be encouraging you to move towards, something at least on a more regular basis that is constantly equipping you with the skill of getting still and spacious and into expansion. And talking of which, I think this is one of the big benefits of retreat. You know, sometimes I think we need a real kick up the, you know, to and really arrest a situation for us to really kind of like course correct. Sometimes you'll have a life crisis which will give you that. I know I've had those moments in my life, and it is actually why I'm here recording this with you today. Like sometimes, you know, there's that point. I think COVID was one of them for all of us, so maybe you can relate, when we had to sit back and pause and go, oh my God, like what am I doing? Like this doesn't make sense. And we get that opportunity with awareness to create some space and recalibrate and start to make these very little subtle changes in our life. And like I think some of our lives have massively changed. And maybe some of those changes were positive, and maybe some of them, you know, kind of got you so far. But if we don't constantly review, if we're not constantly checking in and seeing how those shifts and changes are impacting us, then we'll soon get stuck in another rut again. So we sometimes need to enforce a pause, a pattern interrupt in our life. And this is where retreats come in to the model of our business here. You know, retreats are lovely, and you know, don't get me wrong, I love, you know, a spa day and a retreat. It has that connotation of something that's maybe more like a wellness kind of treat, and it is, but really from a traditional point of view, retreat is so much more than that. Retreat is coming home to yourself. It's creating that space for you to start to do some very deep work, not just have a nice little pamper and a relaxation. You get that, but then there's all this other work to be done, which is way more meaningful and will bring you so much more results than, you know, just kind of taking a break from the stress for 5 minutes and then just going back into it with no strategy, with no redirection, with no course correction. So our retreats help us to really dive into the practices of yoga and Ayurveda, and then we learn how to build that awareness, to start bridging that gap from where we are to where we want to be, and really kind of not shying away from the realities of life. You know, life can be a struggle, life can be hard, and but we can get more skillful, and we can get more resilient, and we can get stronger physically, mentally, emotionally to tackle those challenges, and therefore have more kind of experiences of fulfillment and enjoyment and being able to thrive, rather than constantly feeling like it's always a battle. We can be in a battle with situations, we can be in a battle with our bodies, we can be in a battle with our minds, and you know, we want to start to learn how to steer that away from those negative, stuck in the mud tendencies, and bring in some lightness. So on our retreats, And we've got one coming up on Saturday the 24th, and it's a mini retreat. So what we've kind of tried to do is, it's really hard sometimes to carve out a whole day. We do day retreats, but and we do 4-day retreats, and we do 7-day retreats. But for some of us, if we're tipping our toe in, or dipping our toe in the water, maybe we can just kind of like find 3 or 4 hours, which is what this mini retreat day offers. But you will learn how to start this process of understanding what it is to be aware, and start to shift and shape your energy in new ways, which help to charge you up, not bring you down. They help you to steer you out of your stuckness and bring you into your clarity and into your focus, into freedom and possibility. So it's transformative. Yeah, you'll feel relaxed. Yes, we're going to have lovely conversations. We're going to meet people who get it and want the same things. It's going to be a completely safe space. It's supportive. It's fun. It's not all dry and serious, but it's also, it's honoring ourselves that we maybe need to do some work to shift us and get us unstuck. So if this is sounding like something that you want in your life, please kind of check out this Ayurvedic mini retreat on the Saturday the 24th. Its theme is getting unstuck, and just wanted to just give you a few things that you would take away from this retreat. So first of all, number 1, you will get to learn how to enhance your awareness and use it to help you go from where you are to where you want to be. You'll leave, for sure, we're going to be doing some yoga practice and meditation practices which will leave you charged up and ready to go, allow you to kind of really connect to that part of you that is truly alive, truly well, truly vibrant. You'll start to close that gap from being stuck and from where you are and where you want to be. For sure, the awareness piece is going to start to shift some of those old, outdated patterns. So if you're feeling overshadowed by your existing behaviors, if you again, like always feeling stressed but not being able to get out of stressful situations, always wanting to kind of maybe unburden a little bit of weight, but never really finding those habits that are going to support that desire, then this is something that will start you off on that path. You'll also start to be introduced to Yoga and Ayurveda as this super scientific, practical way of personal growth and transformation. You'll start to lean into your capacity for resilience and strength, and start to understand that those qualities actually come from the struggle. So if we didn't have any struggle, if we didn't have any friction, we wouldn't have that opportunity to learn and grow and evolve for them. So we can start to reframe life and some of the suffering that it causes, and use it to help us move beyond that. Reframing the struggle as an agent for change. You'll get practical Ayurvedic tips. So, if we want to make change, we've got to think about our habits, we've got to think about certain lifestyle changes to our diet, changes to our routines, and you'll get some really practical support. And that underpins, a traditional yoga practice and meditation practice. It's the Ayurvedic practices that really help us to move our practice just from a physical practice on the mat to actually something that we are using on a day-to-day basis in our life. You'll also get to understand the importance of setting intentions. If we really truly want to move out of our stuckness, then setting that intention, starting to learn how to journal, and also create that sacred space for yourself and start to nurture that part of you that is deeply loving, deeply understanding, and really wants this for you. It really wants you to thrive, really wants you not to suffer so much. And in those suffering moments, really learning how to use those to become stronger and more clear. So yeah, you'll just start to understand the whole holistic approach of a retreat, and beyond just a nice way to spend a day and relax for a bit and just forget the world. Can we use retreat to go into ourselves, to really truly witness, to bring that awareness of understanding that's going to give us the strength and the courage and the commitment to go get past those things that are keeping us stuck and keeping us from actually fulfilling on that deep wisdom that we want more for ourselves. We want to get out of this stuckness. We don't want to be in this heavy energy. We want to be light, we want to be bright, we want to move forward, we want to be fun, we want to have great relationships with our friends and our family and our partners. And that's who we are, and we know that on some level, but things are getting in the way. So if that sounds kind of like something that you want to learn about and something that you want to be a part of, I can't wait to welcome you into our family, and come and join us on that retreat, and it'll set you up and it'll start you off on this journey to transformation and getting unstuck. So hit the links, and I will see you on the next podcast. Bye for now.